here we go. Tying tomatoes with the mighty gastronaut himself. Say hello, mighty.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to tomato tying.
All right, explain exactly what you're doing here, Jeremy.
Well, most of the tomatoes we grow on this farm are heirloom varieties. For those of you that don't know the difference between an heirloom and a typical tomato that you'll buy in the store is most of the tomatoes you buy in the store are going to be hybrid varieties. Now, what that means with a hybrid variety is to get that nice beefsteak tomato you like, they're taking a cherry tomato for its bright red color, they're taking a plum tomato for the thickness of the skin, which helps during shipping and harvesting, and they're taking a smaller tomato for the round shape, and they cross them all together. For a couple generations they get this nice big fat beefsteak. Well, with an heirloom tomato, there's no crossing. So let's say you have a hybrid seed and an heirloom seed. If you plant the hybrid seed, you could get that cherry tomato they use to cross it with. You could get that plum tomato. You're not going to get that big fat beefsteak. With these heirloom varieties, every time you plant that seed, you're getting that variety. And this right here, it's some sort of potato leaf variety. If we look at this tomato, the leaf on this tomato looks like a potato leaf, as opposed to some other varieties. So, I'm sure you're asking, why the fuck are you tying these tomatoes up? Well, you see this big steak here? You see that Southern-Fried?
Yeah, I see it.
That's a big fucking steak.
It's a big steak, man.
Well, what do? We take a 50-pound solid steel rod and we drive it into the ground 18 inches, and then we put these stakes in. And these tomato plants will grow as tall as these stakes. And you're saying, damn, a tomato plant as tall as those stakes? And I'm saying, yes, that's exactly what happens. So
it's almost as tall as you, mighty.
Yeah, and when a plant's that big, it can't stand up on its own, so we have to tie them up. If you can look in the row over there, they're all standing up nice and neat. They're looking beautiful.
They do look beautiful.
Don't they? And if you look in this row where I haven't finished tying, you can see some of the plants are still laying on the ground. But we're going to get them to stand straight up like that. So I'll walk you through and I'll show you what we do. So first thing we do, we lift up the tomato plant if it's not already standing up. And our first pass down this row, we just basically run the line. And we try to weave it in and out of the tomatoes, every other one, in and out. If you can't do that because they're laying on the ground, that's fine, you take care of it later. So let's say for purposes we've just ran a straight line between two stakes. The next thing you're going to do, you're going to reattach your string. You're going to go in and out between all the tomatoes. One side to the other. One side to the other. And they're going to stand up nice and straight like so. And then you just tie it off nice and tight.
And how tight are you pulling that line?
I think that's an open E. For those of you that are musicians, just like that. And that's tomato tying. And I'll tell you what, it's some hard fucking work. Fucking sweat your ass off doing this shit.
Look at all of those tomatoes.
And here's the kicker, folks. Like I said, these tomatoes will grow as high as these stakes, so this is just the first tie that we're doing. These are probably going to be tied up about 4 or 5 more times as the season progresses. But, I mean, we'll have beautiful tomatoes. We're growing pink Germans, we're growing German Johnsons, we're growing striped German tomatoes, we're growing green zebras, we're growing pink brandywines, we're growing purple Cherokees, brown cherries, black Russians, and the list goes on. I believe we got about 15 different varieties of tomatoes. And we have an heirloom Italian plum variety. It's not a San Marzano, but I like it a little better.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, it's a lesser known, but that's for good reason. So.
Well, and there we have it, folks. Tomato tying.
Tomato tying.
Thanks for joining us, and look forward to the next video. See you soon.